in that we come to the issue of al-imama, there's been a difference of opinion about who would be the leader of the Muslims. The Shi'is, and for the maybe 100th time I have to say that when we say Shi'is and we say Sunnis, we're looking at not the original meaning of these words. We're looking at the historical development of groups of people. So I speak about the Shi'is here in the course of history. When they use the word imam or the word imamat, what they are referring to is a position that is above the average human being, but below the status of prophets. Probably the best way to put it. When the Sunnis use the word imam or imamat, they're not looking at this particular definition. They are looking at a political leadership position for which certain individuals qualify to lead the Muslims. The Shi'is, if I want to put it in some other words, the Shi'is think of the imamat position as of divine source. You can't argue. The imams are, and then they go down the line. After the Prophet was Imam Ali, and then from there on all the way to the 12th Imam now, who is in absence from the real world. And there's no input. Whether you like it or not, this is not up to you, anyone, to decide. It's already been decided, so to speak. When it comes to the Sunni, he said, no, you've got it wrong. An imam is a person who has the necessary qualities of leading. You need the qualities to be an imam. Not anyone can be an imam. So if you meet these qualifications of being an imam, and then in addition to that, you have the allegiance of the bay'ah, of the Muslim public, then you become the leader. Now, in the real world, none of these are functioning. We don't have any of that. Whether you're a Sunni or a Shia, you don't have an imam. In the real world, you can have them in history, you can have them in theory, you can have them whatever. We don't have them as a real person. No one has an Islamic leader in the real sense, the way it's supposed to be, and this has been the case for a very long time. And the Sunnis also throw in the necessary element of shura. How can you have an imam without having shura? And I can also maybe make a remark here that the concept of social contract, governments in the West after the European Reformation, they agreed that whoever is going to govern in a Western democracy is going to have a social contract with the people. There's a concept of a social contract. That European concept of a social contract has been influenced by, I'm using once again the word Sunni, political and historical narrative. The concept of a social contract is central to the Sunni definition of an imam. You can't have a leader who's imposed on you. You can be the best person in the world. You can't impose a leader on a population that is averse to him. There has to be the contract element to it. Okay. This being the case, there was a population, a good number of people in Iraq at the time of Imam Al Sadiq who wanted him to be their effective and their actual Imam in the political sense of the word. They wanted him to assume these responsibilities, not just a scholar in Al-Madinah. We want more of you than just being a scholar in Al-Madinah. We want you to be the head of the Islamic State. But as we said, Imam Al-Sadiq was exposed to, and I was reading this, I'm sorry, I'm a human being, but I couldn't but think about the Iraqi people, then and now. I mean, they're very long on words, very short on action. They did it to Imam Ali, they did it to Imam Al Hussein, they did it to Imam Zayd, they did it to Muhammad al-Nafs al-Zakiyah and his brother Ibrahim, they did it to Imam Yahya, who's Zayd's son. I mean, if they can't carry a responsibility, why don't they just be silent? Why do they tell them, we're going to support you, we're going to be with you and all this? And then they step up, these Imams, they want to fulfill their responsibilities and then there's no one around. So Imam Al-Sadiq was living this. It wasn't history. For us it's history. Well, it is history, but it's also, you can see what's happening now. But he saw all of this and he said, I'm not, how many times is it going to happen? I'm not going to be drawn into this. So he wasn't. He knew what they were saying. He was listening and all, but he wasn't responding. Okay, fine.